friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy and today we are going to review the books that I read for the month of June. Even though June was really busy with my oldest graduating high school and we took a trip, I still managed to get a lot of reading time in, especially after we got back. I read quite a few books and we're gonna go over them. If you're not following me on Goodreads, I will try to remember to put my Goodreads link down in the description box. I have a Goodreads account where I constantly update like what I'm currently reading at the moment, and then I post book reviews there and things like that, and I have lists of books there. So if you want to follow that, it is on Goodreads, and I will try to remember to put that down below for you. So these books are in no particular order. I just picked out my stack and carried it in here. So the first one is Laying Down the Rails for Yourself. I grabbed this one. This one's from Sonia Schaefer over at Simply Charlotte Mason. This was an interesting read. It's like habit training for adults and like older teens. I thought this was a really interesting book, and Sonia's such a good writer. I really enjoyed reading this one and getting some tips. I think we can all work on different habits and things throughout our lives. So this one was a really good book to just kind of sit and read with my morning coffee. The next book that I read, everybody told me to read this book. This one was For the Children's Sake by Susan Schaefer Macaulay. Everybody told me to read this book. I have been trying to read this book since my youngest was in kindergarten. I have picked up and put down this book I don't know how many times. So I actually read the whole thing. Okay, I read the whole thing. While this was a great book, I feel like Karen Andreola's books were a little bit better. I don't know, maybe her writing style appeals to me a little bit more. This is not a bad book, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I think it was just the writing style. It was a little hard for my eyes not to glaze over every now and then. But still a good book that I think homeschool parents should probably pick up at some point in their lives. It's a really good book. So these next two were sent to me by Bethany House for free to read in exchange for a review. So the first one that I read, I felt like this one was like one of the best historical novels that I've read in probably the last year. This one is These Blue Mountains. Now, I believe this one just released, so I think you can get this one now. And this one is a really good book. I feel like we don't really get a whole lot of fictional stories from this time period. We usually get Victorian era historical fiction and World War II fiction, but we don't get any that's really set in like the 1910, 1915 era, at least not lately that I have seen. This is a split time novel, but we're with the same character. So this is one character and her continual storyline. So we're going back and forth between around 1915 and 1932. And we're going back and forth between like these two 15-year time periods because she has lost her fiance. So the current year is 1932, 1933, and World War II is just starting. But however, 15 years ago, she lost her fiance, like literally lost him during the Great War. He was sent over to a labor camp in North Carolina from Europe, and she lost all communication with him. Now, her and her mom, and the main character's name is Hedda, H-E-D-D-A. Hedda and her fiance's mom, they live together. She's taking care of her, and they just assume that he's dead at this point. But they don't have any confirmation of that. So she, after seeing a newspaper article about some of these missing guys being found, she travels to North Carolina. Now, I live in North Carolina. I'm a Carolina girl, so I know the area. They talk a lot about the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is kind of the title here. It's a beautiful area. If you haven't been there, highly recommend it. So I know the area. It's a little close to my heart, and the story that unravels around her finding out what actually happened to her fiance is like jaw-dropping. Like, I think at one point my jaw actually like dropped when I was reading it. I was like, no way. So this one's really good. There's some twists and turns in here. And you know, about midway through the book, you can kind of tell what's going to happen, but it's still really good. It's kind of like a Hallmark movie. Like, you know what's probably going to happen, but you like it anyway. You know what I mean? I like stuff like that. So highly recommend this one. This one was a really, really good summer read if you like historical fiction. Okay, the next one that Bethany House sent me was Shadowed Witness, The Secrets of Kincaid. Now this one is part of a series. However, I did not read the first one in the series. These can all stand alone. So I think, now I'm not for sure on this, but from what I'm gathering is these probably all have to do, like the series has to do with the same group of people, but each one kind of focuses on it, like each book focuses on a different person in like this little town type of thing. So we probably see some overlapping of characters, and I kind of got that hint in the writing, but it wasn't anything that kept me from enjoying the story. Like, it was very easy to follow along for someone who did not read the first book. So this one is set in current times, and this one we have a photographer, and that photographer's name is Allie Jessup. She has been hurt. She's been assaulted in the very first chapter, and she has to unravel this mystery around what has happened to her because she witnessed a murder. And they have to unravel, her and her friend who is on the police department, a detective, they have to unravel what has happened all around them. So this one is really interesting, and I loved seeing a character who suffers from migraines, because if you follow my channel, you know that I have suffered from migraines since I was little, and it was really neat seeing that in this book, and I really appreciated that. I've never read a character who actually suffered from them the way that I do, and it was really interesting seeing that. So I appreciate little things like that. It makes me feel not so alone in the world, I guess. So that was really neat. I really appreciated that. You can definitely tell with the writing that either the author suffers from migraines herself, or somebody very close to her does, or she talked to somebody extensively about what it's like to live with it, because of the way that she described it was just very like spot on perfect. So really, really neat book there. I really enjoyed that. So the next book that I read and I finished was The Charlotte Mason Companion. Now this one is a little bit thick, and it's like larger, you know what I mean? So like a regular book, just to compare, is like this. So the pages in here are actually larger, and there's a lot of print on these pages, and I tend to go slower with stuff like this because I really want to make sure that I'm absorbing it. So this one took me probably a good 6 weeks to get through, but I feel like I got a lot of stuff out of it. So I started it. I might have showed you this in the last video, but I didn't actually finish it. I actually finished this one. So this one I felt like was more of a good manual, like a good how-to. I have like so many bookmarks, these little flags in here. This one's by Karen Andriola. If you haven't read any of her stuff, you need to read her stuff. She's such a good author. She knows exactly what she's talking about. She will guide you through homeschooling, and especially through anything Charlotte Mason related. That's your go-to right there, is Karen Andriola. And I walked away from this book feeling so confident in what I was doing, and like I had a grip on something, whereas a lot of books are, I hesitate to say it, but a lot of homeschooling books are really squishy. I'm not a squishy type of person. So I like a straightforward, like, this is what your goal is, this is how to accomplish it. Kind of like my videos. Like I give you guys like, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it. That's just my personality. So this book definitely helped me with that. I really appreciated her sending this one to me. And with that, I also finished Mother Culture. I had not finished Mother Culture yet, and that one was so good. If 2 books to read over the summer is Mother Culture and A Charlotte Mason Companion. Definitely, hands down, both by Karen Andriola. Those, I really took my time with both of those, and I felt like they were well worth me taking more time to read and not speed reading through it. My natural inclination is to speed read. I really try to stop myself from doing that, but those books are just books to sit down with a cup of tea and read. Okay, the last book that I read over the summer was from Simply Charlotte Mason and Sonia Schaefer again, and it's Your Questions Answered High School. I bought this one on the Simply Charlotte Mason website, and this is a really interesting book for somebody who Charlotte Mason homeschools, but is trying to like make transcripts and things like that. There's all kinds of questions. I don't think there was any question that I had that wasn't answered in here. And some of them I already knew just from talking with Karen Andriola and reading her books. But there's so many things that I didn't even think of that are in here. This is a book full of tips and things like that. Very, very interesting and helpful for somebody who maybe has not read Charlotte Mason or is really nervous about starting high school as a Charlotte Mason homeschooler. Really, really interesting book. It was a little pricey. I think I paid like $25 for this, and with shipping and everything too. So it is a little pricey, but again, it's also very helpful. It's like a little manual, and I used my highlighter all over this thing. I had different questions and things like that. And there's also like a guide. So like there's questions at the end. Some of the things that I really liked was that she has in here like a schedule maker and like a 4-year plan. I know you guys can't see this, I'm so sorry. But there is like a 4-year table chart here, and they have like an example of one up here, and then they have a blank one down here. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to use that. So there's like a 4-year plan, there's like a whole course of study and like how to calculate credits and things like that. I thought that was really neat. So I'm definitely going to use my copier, copy that down, and then try to make like a plan, I think, for the next 4 years, especially now that I know like the course of study that my youngest is going to do for high school and college and things like that. I'm really excited because I have like a clear goal now in mind. So I thought that was a really, really good book. Really helpful for me, at least. So if you are doing Charlotte Mason, or if you are Charlotte Mason leaning, check out that book, because I think a lot of people get really nervous about doing Charlotte Mason in high school because it is a little bit different. You know, we do a lot of different things with like the enrichments and things like that. So check that out. Highly recommend that one if you're a little bit nervous about starting high school. Check that one out, especially over the summer. It might help you out. All right, that's my book stack. I got way more read than I thought I would over the summer, and summer's not over yet. It's July, but I have so much going on. So I'm still reading. I'm in the middle of 3 different books right now. So I'm still reading. I'm pre-reading stuff for the upcoming school year. So I feel like I have like 4 or 5 books going on like at the same time. But yeah, I'm reading another one from Bethany House. I have some Christmas books coming from Bethany House. I have all kinds of really cool, fun stuff coming up over the school year. And maybe I'll add some living books into this too as I read. If you guys would like me to post about some of the living books that I'm reading in preparation for school, let me know, and I will add those to these videos. Typically, I just post the books that I'm reading for me personally, but if you guys would like the living books that I'm reading too, let me know and I'll add those to this video, or to these video series. All right, that's all I have for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I would love to know what you're reading down below. I love getting clean book recommendations from all of you, and you guys have recommended some great books over the last couple of years. So let me know what you are reading down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy homeschooling.